Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Lewis Obsessed, where I recap Jeff Lewis live every weekday at 12 o'clock California time and 3 p.m. New York City time. Welcome everybody. Oh my gosh, is your head spinning like mine? It is insane. Literally seconds before I went on for today, I just checked. Well, Kim Zolciak had a new Instagram story, so I thought, oh, let me pop over real quick and see what she says. And I noticed her Instagram name. So you can only change your Instagram name like once every 14 days or 30 days, something like that. So I noticed when they first announced the divorce that she had kept her last name, kept Bierman on there. She kept the family couples pictures. Then they took them off. Then she changed her name. Now they took back the divorce supposedly, and she is slowly adding back her name, Bierman. So now it says Kim Bierman, but the actual tag name still says Kim Zolciak, and I think that's only because she can't officially change it through Instagram because it's been too quick. Anyways, my head is spinning. I also just got sent a DM, even though I made stories about it. Andy Cohen this morning, completely taken aback. He did not know how to answer this question if cameras were up for Kyle Richards, right? I mean, he was so freaking uncomfortable. Like, oh my God. Now I just got sent a story by Queens of Bravo, I think somebody sent, that said page 6, or somebody said that cameras are up. So I think it's just like last summer when I happened to call Andy Cohen when I was on a cruise and said, hey, when are y'all going to announce tickets for BravoCon? And he ho-hummed. He was like, I think you'll hear something very soon. Within 45 minutes, it had come out. Okay, so also I called the day that his surrogate gave birth to Lucy. I've told y'all this before. And I said, I think you have a secret. I think Ben's going to be a big brother. Again, he didn't deny it, but he was like, yeah, that's interesting. Like 5 o'clock my time that night, the news came out, and he had not told anyone yet, or anyone publicly, that he was having another kid. So anyways, I'm just saying, I can read Andy Cohen language, even when he doesn't want to tell us, right? Shout out, Chumpettes. Get comfortable in comments. If you are brand new, we love to hear where you're from. We want to hear what you think about the show. That is why we do this live, and it's not just a podcast where you can listen. But also make sure you're following me on every social media. Everything I'm under Jeff Lewis Obsessed, because I do post all the time. And that is why I don't go over every single story, because I've said a lot of it, what I think, on my TikTok at Jeff Lewis Obsessed, on my Instagram Reels and Stories, and on my YouTube channel, Jeff Lewis Obsessed. So shout out everybody. And thank you so much for joining live. If you're watching on the replay or live, please hit the like button. Please take 2 seconds and make a comment. I promise it helps with my engagement. I really appreciate it. Shout out Anna from Sweden. I love it. I love knowing that there's other Jeff Lewis and Bravo reality fans in other countries too. And some of y'all can't even listen to Jeff Lewis live just because of Sirius. So hopefully Sirius will get that resolved and other countries can listen to Jeff Lewis live, because I know when I was in Italy, I was able to listen, but I think it's all about your UPN or your app thing, whatever that's called. Anyways, who's your gal? Okay, Southern Indiana. Is that anywhere near Benton, Indiana? Oh no, that's Illinois. Never mind. Indiana, Illinois, same difference, right? Anyway, sorry. Okay, I am Sarah in Texas. Let's get started with shout out news real quick. Okay. Are y'all as confused on the Kyle Richards thing as I am? Like, I don't even know what to believe anymore. I do think something is going on. I also think it's super suspicious that they just won't out and out deny it, right? Morgan Wade hasn't come out and out denied it. The 2 interviews that I've seen Kyle get caught with at the gas pump, and then one in her car trying to get out of a parking lot with Teddy in the car. And then she tells us, and she looks so giddy. Like, nobody is harassing her. She looks so giddy. I don't know if this is a midlife crisis, but I have told people in the DMs what I think. I think she has been a wife for so long. I think she has been a mom of 4 for so long. I think she wishes her personal acting career had went off more than it did as an adult versus a kid. And I feel like this is her time to shine. I feel like she seems so giddy and like a little 13-year-old girl. Her Instagram stories and her posts, everything is all about her. It's not her kids. It's not Mauricio. Even the latest birthday and Father's Day thing she said to him was very, now looking back, hindsight, we look at it and go, that's a little tricky. Like, she's not saying, I love you, you're amazing. Blah, blah, blah. She's saying, you're a great father. Happy birthday. You know what I mean? Michelle says midlife crisis. Well, do you agree? Oh, maybe she's just laughing. Anyways, I don't know. I just think she is not being harassed. Like some people have said, leave the woman alone. The woman she's getting out, getting her own gas. There's somebody in the car. She could have had that person get the gas. And she's, rolled her window down and talking. If she chose not to talk to these two different reporters, there would be absolutely zero recording of this. Nobody would have used it all. They would have deleted it on their phones and been like, never mind, I tried to get Kyle, but the lady wouldn't talk. Also, the whole thing, and I've already said it already, her best friend, Teddy Mellencamp, if she didn't want to bring this up and she really wanted to protect Kyle, she wouldn't have said anything. Because you know what? I listened to Two Teas in a Pod only because it said on the description, we're finally going to talk about the elephant in the room. And she didn't. She bails out, respectfully so, and brings in Carlos King to talk about it with Tamara Judge, who Carlos King knows a lot. And he was like, where there's smoke, there's fire. I definitely think there's something going on. So anyways, I don't agree with outing people and all that jazz because it's not a typical fling or cheating situation where a man and a woman, it is a woman and woman. So that just adds a whole other layer. Also, the fact that she's so much younger than her, right? Just adds a little more drama. And the girl has tattoos. I mean, it's just the whole thing is just a lot. It's just a lot of little things adding up, right? Anyways, let me know your thoughts and comments for sure. Okay, if you have not watched the Rick and Kelly show from this morning, girl, it's a lot. She says a lot. She alludes to Sonia Morgan being on cocaine. She tells people that they're a racist because Kelly's Mexican and they're being rude to her and she's Mexican, so I guess a protected whatever. She goes on and on again about the pandemic. And then she talks about this Shannon Bedore apparently got into a fight, like a physical fight with someone at some place, some tiki bar in the OC, I guess. And she was sort of mad, but kind of making a jab, like you're not important enough that people didn't pull out their cameras and record this. I don't know. She even calls, I think who was it, y'all? Y'all remind me. Was it a Page Six somebody? Hi, Donna Bowling. Hey, Donna, do you know who it was that Rick and Kelly called this morning on their video? They called somebody like from Page Six or something. They didn't give the guy's name. And they asked, on this Shannon Bedore thing, why, if they would sell video. And he said pretty much it needs to be a video of her with PDA with her ex, John Jansen, or somebody new that she's dating. And that's the way people would pick this stuff up. I think it was Page Six, but now I can't remember. No, but everything he said was wrong. Oh, really? Well, tell me more. Kelly had a source on the Smash saying that Kyle's not having an affair with Morgan. Morgan is a sponsor, like maybe addiction. Yes, Robin, and that is something else they said, is this guy said that he said, everything I'm hearing is that they're not in a relationship. I'm hearing it's a sponsor thing, which I don't know. I don't believe that at all. If it is, why wouldn't you admit that? I mean, Kyle Richards has been famous practically her whole life. Donna Bowling says Morgan isn't her sponsor. I don't believe that either. I don't believe that's so weird. Like, I don't feel like Kyle has any, you're friends with Teddy Mellencamp. So you're trying to say something without being or wanting to say something. She could be your sponsor or a sober friend. I just don't know why then she wouldn't just say that. Just squash the fucking rumors, right? I mean, Kyle is not an alcoholic. I don't know her. She is not an alcoholic. No way. No way. I don't believe it whatsoever. I think she's quit drinking for the weight. I mean, we get to a certain age and we realize, shit, my weight and being skinny is way more important than being bloated and drunk. But anyways, speaking of other people that say too much, I love it. Andy Cohen this morning on Andy Cohen Live, I made some videos about it. He tells us that he had a 30-minute conversation recently with Kim Zolciak, and basically she told him it was irreconcilable differences. There was no way they were getting back together. So he definitely says he's shocked that Kim and Corey have decided to get back together. But I want to know, Andy, more on this 30-minute conversation with you and Kim Zolciak. Like, is she trying to get another reality show? Did they really do all of this for that? If so, that's gross to me. Like, I am all for people selling their soul for the sake of my personal entertainment on a reality TV show. It is what it is, right? Donna says, I prefer to be bloated and drunk. I love that. I'm too cheap to drink. These $20 drinks anymore just drive me crazy. But also, I can't afford the calories at my age. I never really could. But I don't need alcohol to calm down. And I don't need alcohol to have fun. I just really don't. Anywho. But also, Andy Cohen has asked, I've already made 2 stories about it. Someone calls in named Sarah, it wasn't me, and says, our camera's back up. The way he hesitated was freaking insane. Like, they should have edited, if it wasn't a live show, they should have edited it out because there was a lot of dead air. I mean, Andy Cohen was like, how do I want to answer this? What do I want to say? And I mean, his co-host, John Hill, they're in different states, right? John does it from LA. Andy Cohen was actually at his beach house in the Hamptons still. But I mean, it was just like dead air for forever, like a minute and a half, because Andy Cohen is trying not to figure out how to say this. So it was very interesting. Did you watch Crappy Lake? I actually loved it, but there's a lot of feedback saying they thought it was boring. How come I can't see Donna's comments? Okay, so I'm live on Instagram, which Donna was on Instagram. So I read Instagram comments and I read YouTube comments. So it goes on both. So anyways, me, tiny account. I have no viewers, so I just have to get them wherever I can. So I started going live on Instagram and YouTube at the same time because everyone likes a different format. So anyways, if I would ever get huge, I could just, bam, focus on one format, one platform, which would be so much easier. It takes me so much time to upload my stuff to TikTok, then Instagram, then YouTube, Facebook group. But anyways, I do it for you. Chris Court says, I loved Crappy Lake. It was so hillbilly, but funny AF. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I thought it was so cute. I also think that Sonia and Luann were the perfect cast. I can't think of someone better. But tell me your 2 other people, any reality show, it can be anyone. I think in the Jeff Lewis world, I think MJ and Megan would be really good together. What do you think? I think Monica would be great. I think Chris, I love it. I can think of anyone in the Jeff Lewis world that I think would be great at doing this also, but I love it. They did talk about a season 2 already. They haven't said if season 2 would come back, but they definitely mentioned another city on Watch What Happens Live. I thought Watch What Happens Live was super funny. The after show was super funny. I truly loved it all. I really did. But I am seeing some other people that didn't really love it. Okay, so let's get started with Jeff Lewis. Today was Fortune Feimster and Zach Noe Towers. I love them together. And I loved how much Fortune really talked about picking an opening headliner for her. Jeff and Megan. Yeah, Jeff would be really good. Jeff would be good. Because Jeff would be good. Y'all keep telling me in comments who you think would be great on a Welcome to Crappy Lake-ish show. Jeff would be really good because he's kind of like a Luann. He'll do whatever it takes for the show, I feel like. You know what I mean? Sonia is so strange on Watch What Happens Live. Oh, and John Hill, she definitely showed her vagina. She was flashing him. If you see that, she turns around and she flashed me at the show I went to. My friend and I went to see her live in Houston, May 2022. And it was a shit show. I mean, we did the meet and greet afterwards and took a picture with her. And she was like, I asked her about her Sonia Rita, whatever it's called, her, what's that called? A red wine, like a fruity drink. Anyways, whatever that is that she has. And she was like, yeah, she was so drunk. She was like, yeah, they didn't send it to the show. So I had to drink tequila instead. I mean, it was everything I wanted, but it was definitely a Sonia type show. Very different. Oh, somebody says, I'm not liking the after show. Thoughts? I've given y'all my thoughts, and I will say again on today's, I don't know, y'all. I don't love all the woe is me. I mean, I could do a whole segment on woe is me. I've been doing a Jeff Lewis Live after show recap fan chat for 13 months, 5 or 6 days a week. I mean, you know what I mean? So the fact that Brandy and Julie brought up today on the after show about Zach Noe Towers, hey, you did a show that copied the People's Couch. And then they're all mad about Bravo. They're mad about the pillow. What's the 90 Day Fiance pillow show? They're like, we don't watch all that shit. And oh, thank you, Kim. Your recap is better. Shout out, Kim. I'll see you Thursday at dinner. If you're in the Houston area, by the way, make sure to join the Jeff Lewis Obsessed Facebook group. That's where we plan like fun things. It's so sad how she can act that way on live TV. It's really sad. I feel sad for her. And I assume you're talking about Sonia. Lisa says Brandy and Julie are funny. I don't disagree that they're funny. I don't love all the bitching and moaning about the, comments about whatever. Anyways, we'll get into that later. It's also awkward for me to talk about anything negative about them because clearly it's going to come across as if I'm like jealous and stuff. And I'm not. I'm super happy. Would I have loved to have been sought after as some sort of, anything about this? Absolutely. But I'm a freaking nobody in Texas. Jeff Lewis and all the chumps are well aware that I do a fan account. I mean, I would love a tap, tap, tap from Jeff Lewis just saying you're doing a good job or you need to change this. He does nothing for me. So woe is me. I could cry, but I won't. We're here having fun, and it is what it is. But that's my thoughts a little bit on today's, especially Jeff Lewis after show. Yes, Darla says, welcome to Crafty Lake reminds her of the show, The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and whatever that girl name was. Yes, Maria, I do still have a right to share my opinion. And somebody asked me a question, what I thought about the after show. Okay, but I do. I love that Feimster Fortune was saying that she picks her opening acts based on who's a good hang off stage, right? Because traveling with someone is a big deal. Like, I'm assuming they have their own hotels, but they're still like, driving a car together. They're at the airport together. It's a lot. So I love that not only does the person have to be funny, but she really wants to hang out with the person. And clearly, since he's gay, or he's, what's it called when you're a man gay? Oh my God, lesbian is a girl. Oh my God, y'all. Is there a term for a male gay person that's nice, not like rude? Like a lesbian is a female gay person. What is a man gay person? Like, why can't I think of that? Because gay is generic, female or male. Anyways, whatever it is. But Jeff does tell us that not only has he replaced Fortune Feimster on Hollywood House season 2 because they're not doing theirs, that Gina Rodriguez is his new favorite person because she's so easygoing and super funny. But gay is for boy or girl. Gay is men, lesbian is female. But they say if you're a gay woman, just gay, that's the only word. We need to figure out a new name. We need a name for men. If women have the word lesbian, why don't we have a name for just gays? LGBTQIA, right, exactly. That's why Fortune uses Chris as her opener. He's an absolute blast, and they have been friends forever. That is true. Chris Frangiola, right? And Heather Locklear. Oh, she's on my brain just like homosexual is male or female too. I'm obsessed with this now. That's all I can think of is that. Anyways, I'm worried about Heather Locklear just like I am Britney Spears, y'all. Queer is queer just for men? No, I think queer is for women too. Oh my God, y'all, the way I'm hyper-focused on this now. Y'all are going to be like, get over it. Okay. Did y'all like the story that said that Stu, they were talking about a little bit, maybe there's hope. Jeff was talking about his brother, Greg, who is the firefighter, and they started talking about how they can like retire so early and basically have a whole other door. Yes, I did open the door and get some air. You're right. But Stu was saying that he would want to be a cop. Okay. Fun story. I was a stay-at-home mom for like 14 years. And then I thought, oh, the baby's going to kindergarten. I want to do something. Let me think of what's fun I can do. Super something I would want to do, right? Well, I had just taken a tour of the police station with one of my kids. It was either Girl Scouts or the Boy Scout troop, and I was fascinated. And then they said, oh, you can apply to be a police officer here. My friend and I were like jabbing each other like, oh my God. Guess who did it? I totally applied to be a police officer and thought, oh my God, there's a thing you can be a police officer for like, or at least here in Texas, for like 3 years. You have to do like the beat or whatever it's called. And then after that, you can become a community police officer, where basically like you go to the schools and you represent, you talk to kids and stuff like that. That's really what I wanted to do. But I knew I had to do this 3 years of hard part. This is also before like the blue line thing and people were hurting police officers and all of that kind of jazz. None of this was going on yet. This is about 7, 8, 9 years ago, right before I started teaching. So long story short, everyone tells me the physical part of the police officer test is really hard. You've got to get over this 6-foot fence, all this stuff. So I started training for it. My friends started helping me out. My husband was like helping me push a car, because you have to push a car from neutral, all these weird things you have to do. They made it sound like the written test, which is the first thing you have to pass, was so easy. If you know English and grammar, you will pass this. And I'm like, brilliant. I'm terrible at math, but I know this. Y'all, I don't even know north, south, east, west. This test was so freaking hard. So hard, y'all. I failed it by 1 point. So then I couldn't even move on later that day to the physical test. Okay, so I'm just saying, I love Chef Stu, but the way Jeff makes it sound like he's not the brightest. And Stu has also said, hey, I wanted to do this, this, and this, but in Ireland, you have to make the grades to get into that certain college, so he had to end up doing culinary. So he even says he's not that smart, right? So I failed it by 1 point. There's no way he would have passed it. In the long run, my kids ended up telling me, oh my God, we were so afraid of you being a police officer, Mom. And my husband was, God bless him, was being so supportive, like, do whatever you want to do. But that's when also all this stuff started coming out. And then it became even scarier, as it always has been. It's a very amazing career, but for police officers to be even more hurt easily and stuff. So it all worked out in the end. Ended up being a teacher for 5 years, and now I'm back to being a stay-at-home mom. That was dumb. Yeah, in Sweden, you need to be smart to be a police officer here. Yeah, and that test was no joke. Literally, it was so hard. It was a lot of like, they told you these scenarios and then you had to memorize it. And then the lady started talking about the test, and then you forgot everything you had just memorized. Names. Did the person have a beard? It was all about you remembering details of people. Was the person going left? Were they going south? Was it a Kroger? I mean, it was mind-blowing. So let me know in comments if you or anyone has ever taken that test, because my hat's off to you. Wow. Jennifer, you did it? Wow. Are you talking about the police officer test? I'm shocked. I mean, it was so hard, like literally. So did you end up needing to get a master's degree? No. I don't have my master's, Katie says. I have my college degree from 1995. It took me about 2 or 3 months since I was a stay-at-home mom, I was able to do it full time and do it really quickly. And I'm also very like organized and had my shit together. So even though I had 5 kids, in like 2 or 3 months, I was able to do all the schooling that I needed to in Texas, do my Texas Teachers Alternative certification. And then I had to pass the test, which I passed on the first time, to teach early childhood through 6th grade. Then I had to study and take the physical education test because I was a PE coach eventually. Then I also had to take it's something about being able to teach Spanish speaker, or not just Spanish, foreign language students, whatever that's called. It's some other certification. So I had a lot of certifications, believe it or not. And I'm not that smart. Trust me on that. Okay. Did all the barbecue talk have you wanting barbecue? Now, we just had barbecue for 4th of July. Of course, I catered in. So I was eating that for like 2 or 3 days. So I'm full of brisket. I'm full of barbecue sauce, but I love it. I love the name of the little logo. Put some South in your mouth. I love that. Did working 5 years give me a pension? I don't know what pension means, but because I was a teacher for 5 years, that did get me something about insurance. Like I can get health insurance through the school district at 65. So it did do something for me, which is great because I feel like my husband's company doesn't do anything for benefits. They don't give him any pennies for his 401k. They don't give him paid time off. They don't give him anything, paid vacation, paid sick. It's terrible. I mean, it's a great job. Don't get me wrong. It supports our family of 7 very well. But every penny we've saved for retirement is all money we've put in, none of from his company. Whereas when I worked for 7 years before I was a mom, I put in the max 10% of 401k. And so that has grown over all these years. Yeah, for sure. That's insane that he doesn't get 401k match. Yeah, it's terrible. He's in the energy business, and it's almost as if when you're an energy broker, you are like your own person. But he works for a huge company, but it's almost like you're 100% commission, which he is. So sink or swim. But also his customers who are energy traders, they have salary and then bonuses, and then they have all the benefits. Energy brokers, for some reason, have no benefits. It's really shitty. Anyways, I'm tired of bitching about that because I am all for milking the system and making the most out of, tax benefits and doing whatever the best thing is. And we get no 401k help. It's all us. So luckily we're very responsible that way. Fubar season 2 is going to come on. Did anyone watch it? It's not my type of show. I didn't even try it, but God love it. But the Jeff Lewis digital content is so much now. Listening to the after show 5 hours a week, flipping out Fridays, the Chump happy hour. It's a lot. And this weekend or yesterday, I'm a little bit red, which I try not to get, but I had a little bit of pinkness, even though I had sunscreen on. I was listening to the archives. And if you caught my Instagram story, did y'all know that Chaz Dean changed his name at age 19 from Jeffrey Dean to Chaz Dean? I never knew that. I really wasn't listening to the show completely until fall 2021 when I started staying home again. Because I never knew the app. I never knew how to figure out the app. But also, my kids were so much younger, even just 3 or 4 years ago, I would have never been able to listen to it with them in the car. They wouldn't have happened. I watched Fubar with my husband. It was funny. We'll watch it again. Who's Your Gal Says. I think it would be cute. I think me and my husband would enjoy it. But by myself, I wouldn't necessarily watch it. But my husband and I always watch documentaries together. Or comedians. We love comedians on like Netflix. I don't think you call lesbian, homosexual, or queer. Okay, we're back on that again. I don't know. I have to figure out what that all is. What else? Okay, Insidious. My husband took 2 of our kids to see this yesterday. He said exactly this. He came home and told me all about the jump scares. He said it was so freaky. Some scene he was telling me about where I don't know. I cannot stand scary movies. I don't even go to them I have gone to them just to be the cool mom with the family, but it's not my thing at all. So I'm so happy that he indulges them in all that scary movie stuff. But later on, we hear that Zach and Kian went to see Insidious together. And they weren't going to talk about it unless Jeff brought it up. Oh, I have a lot of documentary suggestions. We just stumbled across Wham the other day. It's actually really cute. I already talked about that. But yeah, Wham on Netflix. It does not talk about George Michael's death, though, just in case you're wondering. It's kind of more Wham, even though they do talk about George Michael having a successful single career. Anyways, 13 Lives. Ooh, I don't know what that one is. I don't do horror either, Melanie says. Yeah, I feel like life is too scary. I don't even watch the news. If it's really bad, my husband will tell me what's going on, if it's something I need to know. But your daughter identifies as queer. No, I'm not saying that queer can't be used for both. I think I don't know that there's a term for just a male gay person, like there is a female lesbian term. Kian is a mystery. I don't think I've met Kian twice. Not that I'm the end all be all and like the gay vibes, but I don't get any gay vibes from him. I just don't. I have 18 minutes left on Wham. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's pretty good, Mowgli. Um, yeah. I loved all the Stu talk. I think things are going really good. He did talk about calling him dumb yesterday or something. But lots of him and Stu talk with Monroe. I guess they went to see this movie that was about not really mer people, but something about that. Oh, somebody says they're a documentary addict. Me too. I've always loved it. Melanie, that's one thing we try to keep everyone informed of over on my group, documentaries and podcasts. Yes, in the Vintage Juicy Scoop Facebook group is Melanie's the admin of it and keeps it really good. By the way, this is not really Jeff Lewis, but sort of since she's a chump. What did y'all think of Heather McDonald's post in Juicy Scoop Obsessed Facebook group? She basically was like, look, people, she did over the weekend, look, I'm the only administrator here in this group. There's like 35,000 people. That, I'm telling you, as a person who's done a lot of Facebook groups, mostly for my kids' schools and like neighborhood stuff over the years, I never knew until Alyssa told me about it a couple years ago, there was ever Facebook groups for like Bravo people or 90 Day Fiance or Jeff Lewis. Never even knew. I was clueless. I didn't follow anyone on Instagram. I didn't even know when Kim Kardashian would post. I didn't know how to even see all that stuff. So once I started following people on Instagram, like, oh my God, like I get to see all the stuff that they post about. So I loved it. But I was just oblivious. Like I just wasn't the biggest social media person except for personal family and friends, mostly on Facebook. So I loved all of that, but it was just crazy. What were you saying? The chump chat at 1:00 was Jeff and Stu from March 16th, 2022. And Jeff could not fall over Stu more. It was so sweet. Oh, that was the early days. That was 1 month in of them dating. Oh my gosh. Yes, people were complaining about what Heather McDonald was letting get through, like saying if she's the one approving stuff, then why I read some of the comments and somebody was like, well, I post because she has to approve the posts, okay? She has to approve them. And she said, I write really nice stuff, fun, and my stuff doesn't get through, but then like really mean, hurtful, catty stuff gets through. And I don't know. Say what you will. There is a place for mean, rude nastiness. I think that's why there's about 6 or 7 different Jeff Lewis Facebook fan groups now. Mine is Jeff Lewis Obsessed. I don't want the assholes in. And I think the assholes don't even think to come into mine because they know how I am and they know that that's not going to fly. You know what I mean? But there is a point of free speech where it's like if someone has, and plus you can read things differently on a public post or a text, right? So you don't always get somebody's full intention the way they type something, and it may come across as being rude and they didn't really mean it. So there's also that kind of fine line too. Also, just my tiny Facebook group, I don't have the time. I mean, I'm doing Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, whatever that is. It's a lot, much less I have a life. And this is unpaid. I mean, this is not a salary for me. You know what I mean? So, I spend a lot of time on this and I make a lot of videos and then they'll get like 87 views. So someone even commented on my YouTube, the live on Saturday, I think it said, why do you have 17,000 subscribers and yet you get very few views? And I was like, good question, but thanks for bringing that up. I was like, I don't know. I don't understand it at all. The math ain't mathin', right? I literally, trust me, I don't buy subscribers or followers. I wouldn't even know how to do that if it landed on my front door. But I'm also cheap AF and would never do it. Yes. Oh, Allie Trev, Heather McDonald won't let anyone post about Kelly Dodd because I shared a Kelly Dodd drunk rant and it didn't go through. Very interesting. Which makes sense, right? That she's not going to let something be posted about her friend, right? Melanie says, even with Heather's post, the meanies come out and tried to, gosh dang comments, tried to shame and argue. It's so frustrating. Yeah. So I think that's why Melanie started the Vintage Juicy Scoop Facebook group. Oh, Darla says, you're very good at this. You need to be monetized. I will give credit where credit is due. My friend Ashley on TikTok, the Bravo Mom, she's amazing. She taught me at the end of May, we were talking on the phone, and she said, how much money are you making on TikTok? And I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't even make a dime from any of this over a year. She looked at my account. She actually taught me, I qualified, because you have to qualify to be monetized, and I have made money on TikTok now. So she taught me that. I didn't know. I do need a social media person. I need somebody to get all my stuff together and looking more professional and teach me all the tricks and stuff that I don't know, because I'm clearly missing out on some stuff. But I also just became or qualified recently on YouTube for being monetized. So I did turn on ads on that one. I think I qualify on Instagram to be able to get badges or something like that, but it keeps not turning on. So who knows? So if anyone wants to spend 50 cents on me or whatever it is on YouTube, I think there's a way to hit some star or something. Thank you, Melanie. But I would have never known that if she wouldn't have taught me that. So it was very nice. There are a lot of content creators that I am friends with, and I love helping them and when they help me and teaching them stuff. My kids are my tech support. NW Shelley says, mine don't help me at all. They like make fun of me. They're like, oh my God, Mom, you and your little hobby, it's so dumb. But plus they don't really know. They always tell me nobody watches YouTube. And I'm like, well, somebody is. Somehow I have almost 18,000 subscribers in just a couple of months of focusing on YouTube. So I don't know what's going on there. Okay, let's get into the Jeff Lewis after show. Are you liking it as much? Are you not liking it as much? Do you like when the guests are Jeff and Shane? Do you like when the guests come roll over? Wow, my nephew made $8,000 in 2 months. I ain't making that much money, trust me. Playing video games. Yeah, there's a thing called Twitch where people watch them play video games. Do you think Jeff will take over Radio Andy one day? I don't know about take over. They're both like the same exact age, and they both are hard workers. They both prioritize their careers. So I don't think Jeff will take over Radio Andy. If anything, I think it'll become a Jeff. Ooh, what's that hair? It'll become a Jeff Lewis channel of his own, which I want because I don't like the app. I don't like going to my car and then having to turn on the app on 789. You know what I mean? Oh my God, how exciting, Emily. I'm seeing Fortune in October, and I just found out that Zach Noe Towers is coming with her. So exciting. That's super cool. Yes, I do love how Julie answers the calls like, hello, or whatever she does. I can't believe how many beauty procedures Jeff gets. Somebody says they hate the app. I mean, Jeff does too. Make no bones about it. He is well aware that that app's a piece of crap. Oh my God, Melanie, call me. For sure. She's got someone that can help me with social media. Trust me, I've got my husband's money to spend on it. I have had people, two different consultants help me, but I didn't get the answers I needed. It didn't feel like. Julie is hilarious. Dorinda still drives me crazy with phone calls. Yeah. Oh, it took Bon Jovi 3 years to get a satellite channel after being in the app. Sirius really tests you. Yeah. I think Jeff will get one faster. I don't know. I feel like Jeff, I love how he jokes about having 12 listeners, but shit, he's got more than 12 listeners, right? For sure. You have your own coin now. I mean, trust me. Don't make it seem like I'm making thousands a month. I'm not. But I do feel like I'm on to something, y'all. When I had this idea, I didn't know anything about fan accounts. I didn't follow them. I didn't know they had them. So when I had the idea that, hey, I want to chat about Jeff Lewis, but I don't know how to do this, I kind of combined the idea of Instagram Live because I knew Cook and Kibitz was doing it. And I loved watching that. And I kind of combined Here's What Happened Live with John Jantz and Melissa John Jude and Melissa France on Radio Andy, that show, because I wanted to chat with other people about Jeff Lewis Live. So that's kind of where the idea came from. So if y'all are new, there you go. There's how it came about. And I did ask Jeff Lewis for permission just to make sure he didn't have a recap in the making at the time. Clearly that was about June 2022. And I've been doing it now 5 or 6 days a week since then. I really haven't missed much. Okay, the Jeff Lewis after show, they played this game and Fortune sang that theme song. I thought it was so good, On the Chumps of Love. It was like da 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 da, whatever that song is. Brandy sang it or Julie? I thought it was Fortune singing it. I'm so dang curious about Julie's husband. I think it was Monica that mentioned him the after show, and it's so awkward and crickets. Girl, so for Jeff Lewis's birthday, March 24th, some pictures got out. I mean, because he was tagging anyways, Julie's husband since 2007, Brandy's husband, hello, Julie ain't married. Brandy's husband, she's been married since 2007 to a super cute actor dude. And he was tagged in the pictures and everything. So even though she does try to keep that super secretive, and a lot of people think that Brandy and Julie are a couple, they are absolutely not. Who's Ashley? Ashley is a sweetheart. Sarah, Fortune is hilarious. Love her. Oh, I love that. Dana Maria says, Fortune has brought me to tears of laughter on Juicy Scoop. I love her on Juicy Scoop. I like Brandy and Julie on Juicy Scoop too. I have listened to the divorce podcast, Monica Casey's podcast with Tom Arnold. Yes, I have. Y'all, I must admit, it is really hard to fit in other podcasts and stuff now with the Jeff Lewis digital content. It really is. It's a lot. And I make a lot of videos about, gossip and stuff that's going on, because I want to tell y'all what I think, and I want to hear what y'all think in comments. So it's very time consuming. But obviously my priority is Jeff Lewis and all the content. So I do try to listen to all of it, and it's a lot. It makes it harder for me to listen to other podcasts that I used to try to listen to. And also I'm more of a video person. That's why I love chatting with y'all. I need to train one of my kids to be an assistant. They would want so much money, and I'm so cheap. That's why the consultant, I always have them teach me stuff, not do it for me. Because in the long run, I want to know how to do it. Because when I need to make a story or, a thumbnail or whatever, all that technical stuff that I need to know, I want to make it now. Sometimes I make a story at 10 o'clock at night, 7:30 in the morning. I can't be relying on that. I actually had a meeting a few weeks ago with Straw Hut Media, which does Brandy Glanville's podcast, and they do Reza's podcast. They do a lot of big people. And they were great, but what they do is they charge you to basically produce your podcast, but it wasn't going to be put up the same day. And I'm like, no, I need everything up the same day. Yeah, Chris Courts, you got to spend money to make money. I agree. And I've definitely spent money, trust me. I just need more information now, because part of it is that I'm on all the different platforms, and every platform has a different rule about things. So, oh my God, y'all, we are 43 minutes into this. I don't know why we're so late. Okay, real quick. I did want to go into that Julie has had sex with a man. Fortune has not. I don't even think Fortune has seen a man, because she said whatever she was doing to that guy, it didn't cause him to finish. Tomorrow is Liz Rome. So Jeff started, he was probably noticing what I was doing every Sunday, putting up all the list of the Jeff Lewis guests for the next week. And people were relying on that. People would actually DM me and be like, one time a chump literally had the dates wrong on when they were going to be on Jeff Lewis Live. They saw my story and they DM me. They're like, oh my God, I'm so glad you put this up, because I had the wrong date written down that I was going to be on Jeff Lewis. Anyways, but now Kian or whoever is putting up this really cute visual with a song of when Jeff's guests are. But they're not putting up Doug and Megan when they're on. So we don't know. Tomorrow is Liz Roan. I'm going to guess Doug is on with her because that's who's almost always on with her. But they're only putting the famous person, not necessarily the which days Megan and Doug are on. So anyways, any other quick questions? Also, make sure you're following me on Instagram and look at my Instagram stories, Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Make sure you're liking and commenting on my videos. It really helps my engagement. Tomorrow I am driving with a girlfriend and our two 15-year-old sons to the big city of San Antonio, and our kids are going to go to Six Flags San Antonio, Fiesta, Texas, I guess it's called, and we're going to chill by the pool at the resort. So I hope to go live at 2:00 Central, but I may have to delay that because I don't think we'll even be in our room yet. You can't even check in until 4, but we can already use the resort. So I always try to update you when that happens. I try not to change the schedule too much, but life is fun. I am a mom of 4, and when fun stuff happens, you just have to go with it. So I do try to stick to 2:00 Central Time, but I may not be able to tomorrow. Somebody thinks that Milo is helping Jeff Lewis and Stu get together or stay together. It's like they had a kid, so they're together for the dog. I love that. Anyways, if I didn't answer your question, if you're watching on a replay, put your question in comments. Make sure to like and share it if you're lucky enough to have a Jeff Lewis or Bravo reality friend in your life. Share my accounts with them. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. It may not be at the exact same time. It may be later. And Wednesdays might be off too. I will always update on my Instagram stories though. Okay? Bye, Chumpads. Thank you for joining.